And make the rest of these go live. All right, we are live on all three channels. All right. So what I'm going to be working on tonight is deploying K3S on my local workstation, as well as using Helm to deploy GitLab to this K3S instance. Just checking one more stream real quick. It should be up. Beautiful. All right, all our streams are up. Audio sounds good. I think tonight stream may go well. So you guys should see my screen. So again, what we're going to be deploying is K3S. That is a very lightweight Kubernetes distribution. You can run it on just a single server. So I'm going to be running that here on my Ubuntu 20 box, and once we get that up and running, I'm going to work on deploying a GitLab instance to this K3S cluster, and hopefully it should go well. So I'm actually going to first copy things off into here, because there is a setting I actually do want to use for K3S, and that is the system Docker images. So K3S, if you just spin it up, it's going to use its own Docker image cache. So any images that you have on your local workstation will not be available to it. So that is, I just don't remember the Alright, so we have Docker. Alright, so this is the command we want. See, so it adds this --docker argument. So I'm going to replace that there. So this is going to use the K3S installer, which I assume is going to ask for the appropriate permissions, because it's not going to just get them out of the box. Make sure. Alright. Why is this open? We're going to close this. Alright, so going back to the terminal, first thing I'm going to run is, yep, it does ask for the permissions, like it should. So it's going to go through and download all of the files needed for K3S. I believe it is just the one file, and this is going to create a file on the local workstation that is the kubectl file. Now this file is how you're going to tell kubectl, which I'm going to need to install as well. Install kubectl with bash completion. Well, so while K3S is installing, install kubectl. So I'm going to, again, just copy everything over here into a terminal first. That way I don't have to switch back. I'm not going to do validation, just going to assume that the Kubernetes project is giving me a valid file. I'm going to leave that up to them. Don't need to do native package management. Shell auto completion. So this is super, super useful. So what this is going to do, shell auto completion will allow me to tab complete out things like pod names, and things like that. So we're going to have this step to download kubectl. We're going to chmod it. I really don't want to have to do sudo for everything though. Who am I? Mturner. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try changing this to mturner in hopes that I don't need to be root. Alright, so we're going to do K3S kubectl get node. Ah, okay, so echo. So what I'm looking for here is the kube config. It's not set. So does that mean sudo cat? I'm going to try to get this file. Cat local, alright. So let's do export kube config equals local. And now let's see if we can get, hey, look at that. So ended up getting, so what I had to do there, by default when you install K3S, it writes that kube config file to that location. I believe it was etc rancher K3S k3s.yaml, and it gives that file root permissions or ownership and group membership of root. And so I can't access it as mturner, so what I did was just cat it out into a local copy. It's the exact same YAML. Then by setting this kube config variable, this is what told it to go ahead and use it. Now I'm going to install kubectl directly here. I prefer it over using the K3S kubectl get node. Let's make sure it works. Look at that, it does. Kubectl get pod tac a kubectl. It's alright, so this will get bash completion set up, and we'll source our bash RC. Alright, so now kubectl get pod tac in. See, look at that. So that's tab completion. That's what that bash completion step on line 9 in the editor was for. This gets me, you know, a much easier way to get at things. All right, so it looks like that's all working. So we have K3S up and running. Kubectl. I'm gonna see. I want to say K3S does give me load balancer. Yep. So I should be able to hit local host just like that. You get a 404 not found. Now that's coming from this traffic load balancer here. So the next thing we're going to do is install Helm. Now Helm, if you don't know what Helm is Helm, it touts itself as the package manager for Kubernetes. They're quite proud of this, and really, that's been my experience, is that Helm really is about the only way people do it. There is customize. You don't see it near as often. You won't see the wide support for customize that you'll see for Helm. But let's go ahead and get Helm installed. All these new ways to install things. Let's see, download a desired version. Well, what desired version do we want? The 3.8.1, that looks like the version that I want. So I'm going to look for Linux, AMD 64, those are signatures, those ASC files. They're all ASC files. Well, that isn't very helpful. Oh, maybe they put it up here in the thing. Alright. Linux, AMD 64. So I'm going to grab that link. Curl, TACOL, tar, XVF. We'll move Helm. Nope. We'll move Linux AMD 64 Helm to user local bin. Okay, we'll do it with sudo. No problem. I know the password, and you didn't even ask it. Helm tech version. Tech version. Tech B. Tech H. Oh, it's just Helm version. Helm version. Alright, it is just going to complain at me constantly about this local file. So let's take a look at local. chmod. We'll do 644 local. Will that make Helm happier? Okay, let's do 600. Hey, look at that. All right, so Helm was upset about the file permissions on my kubeconfig. 600 makes it so that only I can read and write it. All right, so we have Helm. Let's go to artifacthub.io. I don't guess I need to sign in. It'll be a pain to go through right now. Can at least switch it to dark. Nope, can't do that. All right, so let's look at installing the GitLab Helm chart. So Helm is a package manager. It installs what they call charts. Charts are these packages. I'm going to go ahead and grab a copy of this default values file here. We'll go ahead and save this as GitLab.values. No, I'm not typing in the right spot. GitLab tech values.yaml. Alright, so now what this values file is, if you're not familiar with Helm, Helm is going to read the values that we define in this monstrously long file. And it's going to render these templates that you see on your screen here. So let's see if we can find a simple one. Anyway, they're going to render these templates here. So that'll give us that. Let's look over their README here. Strongly recommend that you read the documentation instead of jumping to the settings list. Well, all right, let's look here. So, oh, that's nice. They host it on their own thing. I was half expecting this to go to GitHub. Configuration. Oh, you know what? Let's we'll start from the top and work our way down. We'll see. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna install the community edition first of all. I'm not paying GitLab for this. They're not paying me, so okay, well, we don't need to set that. Doesn't look like. So I'm just going through these settings, looking to see. I'm sure I don't need to mess with the vast majority of these. I do want to please read the docs. I'd love to read the docs. No idea. Oh, do you force Nginx? I'm glad I looked at that. So you're going to deploy Nginx to this cluster. Nginx. Well, it says it's going to handle all of that, so I'm not going to argue with it. I guess the first thing we'll do then is let's just render it. Let's see what happens. Helm. I'm going to do template. I never added the repo. So the first thing you've got to do with Helm is add these repos, and we'll do a Helm repo update. And we're going to copy that off rather than run it directly. Call this install the Helm chart. So we're going to template this. So what template's going to do is it's just going to spit out a wall of YAML. So let's send that to file. And let's add a -f for our values file, and it's GitLab. tac values dot yml. All right, let's run this and see what we get in our out.yaml. It's taking it a second. It's a little unexpected. What on earth are you doing that takes that long? You must provide an email to associate with your TLS certificates. No. How about we search for TLS? We find everywhere that it looks like we can disable. Well, let's try setting this to enabled equals false. See if that helps in any way. That one says false. That one says false. That says false. That doesn't appear to be related. It's Prometheus. I'm not super worried about that just yet. Alright, let's try to render that. Let's see, where are you doing Cert Manager? Oh, well, how about we just disable Cert Manager? Because that's really what the problem is here. We don't want Cert Manager rendering or trying to get us a SSL cert from Let's Encrypt. It's useful, but you must provide an email to associate. Please set Cert Manager issuer. Let's also set you to false. Okay, save that. It would be nice if this would render, huh? You must provide an email. I don't want to, though. I'm beginning to wonder if this is actually going to be possible. GitLab Helm K3S. So what I'm searching for is something like this. Maybe somebody else has figured out let's see where else it says email. K3S. I really do not want Cert Manager at all. I get it. I totally do. Okay, so nothing about TLS, nothing about Cert Manager. All right, I will. I'm gonna uncomment this. Wonder if I've got my Helm command wrong. Helm values file. I swear it's -F. Yeah, -F. Helm install. Sure that I don't need that. Why is this being so hard to deal with? Alright, so I gave it its email. I'm just looking here to see. I'm never gonna find it. Yeah, okay, I see CE in there, so it must have picked it up. I wonder, man. I want to make sure that it did pick up my changes. I'm gonna add a label. Name Mitchell. I'm gonna re-render that template. All right, it got my label in there. Well, it's a shame that it's so. I think the reason that it was asking and requiring the email. There's no telling where it is in here. Oh well. All right. So we've got it rendered. That means it will work. I'm gonna go ahead. Actually, let's look at this Ingress real quick. Oh yeah, it's just gonna install its very own Ingress. But it's going to set it all up for example.com, which is not really going to help us. Am I going to have to set up, like, well, I guess the simplest way to fix this, vim. So it's going to set up, what I'm getting ready to do is fix this domain name thing. So it's set up everything for example.com. Now it's going to use subdomains. I'm going to need one of each of these. So let's look for .example.com. Control-Shift-L to select all of them. Oh. That didn't work. star.example.com. If I could type, this would go a lot smoother. So I've selected all of them. Control C, Control N, Control V. Minio.example and GitLab.example. C, Control A, Control V. I'm just trying to get all of these. Alright, so I'm going to need to create a record for all of these. Echo EOF unique EOF. Well, that didn't work. Man unique. Why didn't that work? Oh, I need to pass -u. Okay. Echo tac EOF unique tac u EOF. Well, that's not working at all. Okay. Let's take this over to the internet. List unique sort. Remove duplicates, process text. Alright. So I need to create entries in my etc hosts file. Vim command not found. Wow. I'm a little embarrassed, guys. This is a new box. That's why I don't have it. I'm good at installed though. Actually, I could just let's try to re-render this with example.com. That's fine. You're determined you got to have that email. You can have a bad email. So I've updated that host. I'm going to try now to re-render this and see if I get an Ingress that I like a little better, because not being able to access it isn't going to be fun for anybody. So we're going to search for Ingress. I guess I could search for find Ingress. That's still going to be a problem, but so GitLab. Got that all backwards. GitLab dot minio dot. Now, in a normal environment, you don't have to do all of this, but because I'm hard to get along with, or I'm being hard to get along with, and wanted to run this for the first time ever live, I'm gonna just do it this way. Registry. Alright. So if I do ns lookup registry dot Mitchell stream tower. Alright, beautiful. So we're gonna have that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell it that it can install this. Now what I'm afraid is likely going to happen is I'm going to need to put in my Docker credentials to get this to work, but we'll see how it goes. So this is going to install, and it should start bringing up all the various pods, that constitute GitLab. So it's going to be things like the Gitly Git server. It's going to be, I believe, Postgres, Redis. A few other things are going to be deployed along with it. And right now it's probably battling with my internet connection, which may be messing up this stream. I'm sorry if that's what's happening here. All right. Let's see what we got. Minimum required version. Okay. You gave me that version, so I'm not going to worry. Notice you've installed a GitLab runner without the ability to use Docker and Docker. The GitLab runner chart is deployed without the privileged flag on by default. This can be changed by setting GitLab runner.runners.privilege to true. Okay, we'll read your docs here in just a second. Kubectl git service tag A. So what I'm looking for are these Ingress controllers. Now, I don't believe for a second okay. Kubectl git pod. Okay, so what I'm trying to determine, I know what its issue is. There's already a load balancer service running on this external IP here. So what I'd like to find is a K3S load balancer. K3S load balancer. Embedded service load balancer. This is probably what I'm after. Moved out. Okay, I'm in the right repo. This is the runtime image for the well, that doesn't really help me much, does it? It does not. Metal LB I've used in the past. Maybe Metal LB will work. Okay, so K3S Clipper. See if we can find some information on how this is going to work so I can bring this load balancer service up. Still pending. Okay, so I just need to set up my load balancer with an IP address. Nginx Ingress controller. Controller service. Controller metrics service. Service account. So I'm going to try adding let me look at their templates. Ingress template. Nope. Does not help me. Ingress. Way to be laggy, keyboard. IP. We're going to do 192.168.1.159. Maybe. 1.159. So I'm going to render that template out first. If my keyboard would participate, it'd be way easier. So hopefully that's the right syntax. I'm kind of guessing, to be completely honest. Let's see if 159, yeah, it doesn't show up. So let's do kind service GitLab exporter shell. Not that. Not that. Not that. It's this one. Type load balancer. Okay. K3S Clipper additional address. This is being remarkably difficult for K3S. could just give it different ports. I'll take, oh, well, let me just do that. Let's look up 80, anywhere that 80 exists. Okay, so go look up the Ingress Nginx. Ingress Nginx. Let's just look it up over here. Ingress. Oh, now my keyboard's not participating. Ingress Nginx. Can't open it in a new tab, that'd be too easy. Controller. Container port appears to be the one. No. Container port will not be the right one. Is my guess. The reason for that, that's going to change the port on the Nginx container. This is what we want. Enable HTTP, so somewhere in here. Yep, so under controller, service, ports, do ports, ports, HTTP, do 10,080, and HTTPS, we'll do 10,443. And I'm just going to install it because I believe that's going to solve that issue. Cannot reunite. That's right. Helm upgrade is what you need to use. Once you've already installed the Helm chart, you do need to use Helm upgrade. But that's going to go through, and hopefully all it's changing, all it's change is the port numbers, which should allow that service to come up and be bound. I don't know, somewhere. Hopefully I don't have to rip traffic out of K3S just to run this. So we'll get our service. My GitLab, Nginx, Ingress controller. There we go, 1080 and 10481. Or yep. So hopefully now I can go to localhost port 10. Wow, keyboard. Why? I don't understand why this is being this way. Localhost. Localhost. I'm sorry guys, my keyboard is just not participating. Localhost. Oh my goodness. And I was just like, oh, it's probably OBS is really just taxing me hard, huh? Local host port 10,080. Might be temporarily down. Let's move to a new address. No. Kubectl get Ingress. I just don't think that's gonna actually work. 10,080. Error unsafe port. I don't know what you mean an unsafe port, Chrome. Chrome unsafe port. I'm gonna try changing this to 40,000. See if Google likes port 40,000 better than port 10,000. That's interesting. I didn't know that that Chrome wouldn't allow you to use some ports. Let's try this again on port 40,080. Hey, look at that. We have GitLab running on K3S. Let's see. Helm chart, GitLab, default login. I will let Google fix that. Helm chart, GitLab. And I think you may actually need to, kubectl get secret. So it looked like from that first or second result that maybe GitLab is storing this information in a secret in Kubernetes. Oh wow. Secrets. GitLab initial root password. Kubectl get secret. Type O YAML. Echo. Now don't y'all steal my default password here. So it stored it in that Kubernetes secret, and Kubernetes is going to store that base 64. That's how I knew to run that through a base 64 decode. It definitely won't log in with that. That's a really long password. Let's see, root. Oh, come on. Well, that is the right password. Maybe it's not. tr tag d. Strip any new lines. I mean, that might as well be the new password, right? Let's see if we can. Oh no, it's not going to work. Well, this has proven to be aggravating. I got to be completely honest. This is not the funnest thing I've ever deployed to Kubernetes. Initial login. Don't expect I'm going to get a different value here, but my GitLab is my dash GitLab. That's the same password that I got, I believe, but 422. All right. It's working. Not outgoing email. understand why it's having such an issue. Kubectl get pod. I'm just looking to see if maybe we just don't have something running. Everything's running. So it is actually deployed. There's no doubt about that. It just is not actually going to let me in with that initial root password. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find I just don't know why it doesn't like that. That doesn't make sense at all. Let's go back. And unprocessable entity. Kubectl get pod. GitLab runners over there broken, but that's fine. So it's probably no. Why isn't that why is that pending? Kubectl describe pod. Nodes are unavailable. Well, it ain't lying, is it? I don't have the memory to run GitLab, so really didn't help any, huh? Cool. So this tool is called CTOP. This is going to give me an overview of what's eating my memory. Prometheus, that's not surprising. And those are Paul's containers. Kubectl get pod. See if we can get that thing to run now. Kubectl delete pod. So by deleting the pod, I'm going to get Kubernetes to recreate it for me. It's not a lot on memory. Oh. Let's see if we can. So this here, this 2G, this actually gets completely taken over. If you don't. How do you, what is this sidekick thing? Side K. Let's see if we can. We want to set the resources to anything just less than that. That's horrible. Let's set our sidekick. So these are the dependencies. Let's set that to 1G. And we're going to upgrade the GitLab chart. Hopefully it'll let me actually do that. Yeah, that's pretty rough actually. Let's see, memory. What are you? And why do you get so much memory? You're the web service. Let's see if we can find where to configure that thing's memory, because it's configured to get 2.5 gigabytes of memory, and I don't have that much available to me. Let's see if we're getting anywhere. Well, we're not pending anymore. Here we are. Web service chart. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to set the memory. Maybe. Memory. Alright, so now setting that to a half a gig of memory rather than 1.5. Maybe that will tame everything down a little bit. Yeah, actually, I don't even know if I've had any viewers this whole time. I hope you guys are enjoying it if you're there. Oh, that's not the command I wanted to run. Render that and take a look at what it's coming through with. Make sure it's actually working. Because it doesn't appear to be. C2G. Yep, that is not working. So I'm going to go and just going to adjust this so that it is valid YAML. I guess I can see how it might not like that. Go there. Be cool if the tab button worked. Also change this one if my keyboard would work. Template it out one more time. And so the problem I'm facing here is everywhere that there is a resource request set, if you don't also set a limit, the request gets set to the limit, which it isn't updating that. It should have updated this. But it's not, and I don't understand it. Two G. Absolutely blowing my mind. I don't get it. Resources, requests, CPU. Let's just see how many occurrences. Sidekick. Maybe I need to set it way down there as opposed to way up here. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to put it way down here. Alright, let's try it with it there. We'll template it out. Check the stream real quick that I've not dropped a bunch of... Not dropped a lot of packets, that's not bad. And that still is not updating that, and I just do not understand this. Sidekick, resources, requests, memory. Let's check and see if memory is even in the list of things you could configure here. It's not. So, must be that you're supposed to do it in each chart. And when I go to specifically, which chart is it that's given me the issue again? Sidekick. Let's see, Sidekick. It is absolutely, it just keeps rendering that same thing over and over. Resources, requests. Requests, memory. Well, I don't really know where else to set it. And since I can't get this, I can. Watch this. I'm just going to update it here. 1.5. Memory. Where'd that 2.5 gigs go? Let's set that to 1.5. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to find this other one. Oh, I set that one. So kubectl apply tac f out.yaml. So, that seemed like a bad move. I think I broke it. We'll let it. It's bringing things up. That's better than we were having. Well, guys, I don't think I've got enough hardware here to get GitLab running this way. And since I can't get the Helm values to update the memory, of course that should have been changed. You know what? Let's do a Helm. Uninstall. So it doesn't like it when you pass the values file for the uninstall or the version flag. So as these pods all finish terminating, kubectl delete pod. We're just going to get rid of all of these. Well, I wish that had worked out nicer. GitLab, I guess, was a little ambitious. I didn't realize it took 12 gigs of memory to run GitLab nowadays. I guess maybe if you were using whatever they call that Omni image, maybe it's a little bit better, but alright. So GitLab is down. Down. That's a shame. I really was hoping that was going to work out nicer. That's what I get for not testing these things before a stream. So, yeah, that's what happens. I do think that's about all I'm going to do for the evening. It's 10 o'clock here, so I'm going to go upstairs and hang out with my wife. I appreciate everybody watching if you did, and see you again next time.